of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life.
In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 15, verses 32 through 39, we encounter a breathtaking display of Jesus' compassion and power, the feeding of the 4,000. A vast multitude had gathered, drawn to Jesus' teachings and miracles. They were hungry, having followed him for 3 days, and Jesus, moved by their plight, refused to send them away empty. He took 7 loaves of bread and a few small fish, gave thanks to God, and miraculously multiplied the food to feed the entire multitude. This seemingly simple act of compassion reverberates with profound prophetic significance. This miracle, like many others performed by Jesus, wasn't just about meeting a physical need. It was a symbolic act, a glimpse into the very heart of God's plan for humanity. Hidden within the details of this event, the numbers, the timing, the sheer magnitude of the miracle, are powerful prophetic clues pointing towards the fulfillment of God's promises. These clues, when deciphered, offer a glimpse into the glorious future that awaits those who believe. The number 3 appears repeatedly throughout Scripture, often symbolizing divine completeness and God's perfect timing. In the feeding of the 4,000, the fact that the multitude had been with Jesus for 3 days before the miracle is significant. This echoes Jesus' own death and resurrection, which occurred after 3 days in the tomb. Just as Jesus rose again on the 3rd day, bringing new life and hope, so too does this miracle point towards a future resurrection and restoration for God's people. This theme of 3 days resonates with the concept of one day as 1,000 years found in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. If we apply this principle to the feeding of the 4,000, the 3 days could symbolize a period of 3,000 years in God's prophetic timeline. This time frame, encompassing the history of God's redemptive plan, culminates in a time of great spiritual hunger and a desperate need for the Messiah's return. 7 is another powerful number in biblical numerology, representing completeness and perfection. The 7 loaves of bread used in the miracle, along with the 7 baskets of leftovers collected afterward, amplify the message of God's abundant provision. This abundance isn't limited to physical sustenance. It speaks of the overflowing spiritual blessings God desires to pour out on his people. The 7 loaves also foreshadow the 7 churches addressed in the book of Revelation, representing the entirety of the church throughout history. Just as the 7 loaves were broken and distributed to the multitude, so too is Christ, the bread of life, offered to all people, nourishing and sustaining them for eternity. The 7 baskets of leftovers symbolize the completeness of God's salvation plan, leaving nothing out and ensuring that all who come to him will find abundant life. The number 4,000, representing the vast number of people miraculously fed, carries significant prophetic weight. It echoes the gathering of a great multitude from every nation, tribe and tongue described in Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. This massive assembly represents the redeemed of the Lord, drawn from every corner of the earth to partake in the ultimate feast of the Lamb. The feeding of the 4,000 foreshadows a time when God will gather a remnant of believers, both Jew and Gentile, who have placed their faith in Jesus Christ. This gathering will mark the culmination of God's plan for humanity, a time when all divisions are healed and his people are united under his banner of love and grace.